Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. Yesterday, Todd McShay of ESPN came out with his NFL mock draft for 2023. First round predictions for the 31 picks in the first round. There's 31 because the Dolphins' first round pick got forfeited. So he has Bryce Young going to the Texans first, CJ Stroud to the Lions fourth, a lot of people's top two quarterbacks. Then he's got Will Levis of Kentucky going to the Falcons sixth, and he has Anthony Richardson of Florida going to the Panthers at number 11. Those are the two quarterbacks I wanted to briefly discuss, Levis and Richardson, and whether they are deserving of first-round picks. Let's take a look at their stats first off. So let's start with Will Levis. Kentucky was a little bit disappointing this year at 7-5. Levis completed 65.4% of his passes, 2,406 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Did average 8.5 yards an attempt, which is great, but 10 interceptions after 13 the previous season. So that's 23 interceptions in 24 games over the last 2 years. Had a lot less success running the ball, had 9 rushing touchdowns with Kentucky. He transferred from Penn State, but even in limited action, he ran the ball a lot. If we take a look at his game log, let's take a look at some of the disappointing games he had, especially that Florida game. He did not perform very well. Vanderbilt, a bad Vanderbilt team, although they were a little bit better this season, completed just 47.8% of his passes. At Tennessee, 98 yards and 3 interceptions. Yes, Tennessee was one of the best teams in the country, but we saw what Spencer Rattler did against them when South Carolina played against Tennessee. And Anthony Richardson of Florida. Both these quarterbacks are like the prototypical size you'd want for a quarterback, as Levis is listed at 6'3", 222. Anthony Richardson even bigger at 6'4", 236. Kind of seen as an athletic specimen. Could run. Says he could run a 4.4 40. Says he could throw the ball 75 yards. But if we take a look, he barely played at all, just had 66 attempts entering this season, became their full-time quarterback, but completed just 53.8% of his passes, 17 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Did have success running the ball with 654 yards and 9 touchdowns. But if you look at some of his SEC games this year, he really struggled. We see Kentucky, 40% completion percentage, 2 interceptions. We see Georgia completed less than half his passes. South Carolina completed less than half his passes in his last game of the season. Yes, he threw for 3 touchdowns against Florida State, but he went 9 for 27, completing just 1/3 of his passes. So what do you guys think? Do you think these guys definitely should be taken in the first round, even though they haven't been the most prolific quarterbacks at the college level? Do you think we should take a look at their their attributes and make that their ceiling and think about the best version they can be and draft them accordingly? Or do we see Will Levis as a turnover-prone guy? Kind of similar to how I saw Sam Darnold at USC. I saw him as a guy who threw a lot of interceptions, but teams looked past that. Of course, he was drafted by the Jets, really has had success at the NFL level. Anthony Richardson, yes, he is, again, 4'4", 40, 6'4", built like a linebacker, but again, hasn't shown accuracy at the college level and doesn't have much experience, just 1 year full starting. So if you're a GM and your team needed a quarterback, and let's say Bryce Young and CJ Stroud were off the board, would you look to take either of these two in the first round? Some other mock drafts I took a look at, other than McShay's. CBS Sports' Chris Trapazzo had a mock draft today. He had Will Levis going to the Colts 7th and Anthony Richardson going to the Panthers 9th. The website Tankathon has Will Levis going to the Colts 7th, Anthony Richardson going to the Giants 23rd. And Fox Sports' Rob Rang, this was a few days ago, had Will Levis going to the Panthers 6th and Anthony Richardson going to the Seahawks 20th. So again, Would you take these quarterbacks in the first round? Do you believe they could reach the full versions of themselves, or would you have liked to have seen more productivity at the college level? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.